Most agencies need to raise their prices, but they don't because they are embarrassed or they feel like they're not worth that price, which unfortunately means less profit and more stress for the agency owner. So to help with this agency pricing pandemic, I am sharing a system that you can all use in your agency. And this system will help you raise your rates based on data instead of gut feel. So you can feel really comfortable and really confident when you do it, which funny enough is going to help you sell more as well. I want to preface this with that you're not going to 3x your agency overnight. It's going to take work. It's going to take learnings and takes trial and error. And the first step you need to take is actually a step back because you need to understand what you are currently doing. By the way, if you don't know who I am, my name's Robert Patton, and I've worked with agencies for over 15 years, helping them build sustainable and profitable agencies. It is ultimately impossible to know how things are moving along unless you're tracking your progress. So in an example, and it's written in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, what he depicts in the book is imagine yourself in a room that is below freezing and there's ice sitting on the table. And the objective that you have is to run around the room as quickly as you possibly can and utilize friction to warm up the room so that you can melt the ice in the middle. So you're running around vigorously, doing it for hours. And ultimately, you don't actually know because there's no temperature gauge in the room to see exactly how much progress you've made. And you've taken it from 29 degrees to 32 degrees. You're nearly at the point that you're going to start to be able to melt the ice, but you haven't actually held on to being able to move forward, and you don't know the progress that you've made. So if you're looking to grow revenue and profit this year, you need to be able to track a few things and not ultimately wait until December and to just realize at that point that you've missed your goal and oh well. What is measured is ultimately improved. So you need to be measuring your activity, understanding what you're doing, know exactly what you have to do today so that tomorrow can be better. And if you're not measuring it, you're leaving it to chance. So if you're anything like me and like the vast majority of agency owners that I've spoken with, we all have a feeling of a limiting belief, of imposter syndrome. And this is especially true when it comes to fees. We don't feel comfortable until we are actually able to sell it at that price point. But once we're able to sell it at that price point, we're able to move forward. And I've had an incredible amount of conversations with loads of different agencies about this specific topic. And in one example, I want to talk you through the specific salesperson within an agency. And when I was depicting exactly the price point that we needed to be selling at, she absolutely said, there's no way that we're going to be able to do that. I'm already getting pricing objections as it is. And to begin with, she did struggle a little bit, predominantly because she was not comfortable saying the price point. And so when she said the price point, she kind of said it in a reserved fashion, unsure about it actually being able to work. Eventually, after a couple of sales calls, she sold her first one, and she felt affirmed in the direction that we were headed, and that it was actually indeed possible, and that people believed that we were worth that price. So what I want us to be able to do is find out what the market is willing to pay and exactly how we are positioned, recognizing that there's a direct correlation around bringing risk down and price point going up. The higher amount of confidence that a prospective client has allows for the price point to increase as well.
And if you want to make sure that your own agency is as profitable as possible, I'd recommend downloading our free agency analyzer in the description below.
The next thing I want you to think about is my 30 to 70% rule. So what ultimately goes is that cold leads, generally speaking, are going to be between 20 to 30%. Once you're above a 30% conversion rate in a cold lead, your price point is too low, that ultimately you're having too much success. Now, with you having referrals, you're in the 70 to 80%. If you're above that line as well, you have the same problem. Your price point is too low and you are the cheap offer. And so here's what I want you to recognize, what it is that you're converting right now, and look at both your cold leads and your referral leads or warm leads, and understand that each one of them need to be measured differently. If you are currently converting at over 70 to 80% in your referrals, you need to raise your rates. And if you are converting more than 30% in cold, you need to raise your rates again. And you'll consistently do this over time and be in a much profitable place doing less work for more money.
So that said, raising your prices is fine, but we're business owners, and what really matters to us is profit. So check out this video next to make sure that your agency is as profitable as it possibly can be.